Hello and welcome to this edition of PAC Check-in. I'm here with Randy Beehler, the Communications and Public Affairs Director for the City of Yakima, and we're going to give you a little bit of city information to help you get through these trying times. It's a trying time, and one of the things that we're doing at the city is providing information to people. So, Randy, the mayor has been doing some messages to the community, and we're going to provide some more information for our Spanish residents. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Mayor Patricia Byers has recorded a couple of different messages during the COVID-19 emergency, just providing, more information about city services and what's going on in the city, and also trying to offer some encouragement to people to continue to follow the orders and recommendations of public health officials for social distancing and such. We have recorded another new mayor's message, and also have had that message recorded in Spanish by Councilmember Eliana Macias. And one of the difficulties is trying to reach as many audiences as possible during this emergency with accurate and up-to-date information. Those have been a couple of different challenges, because first, accurate information has been, it's challenging to come by. It really is important that we not only try and contain the spread of COVID-19, but also contain the spread of misinformation and rumors. There's a lot of stuff out there, but there are sites that people can go to and be secure in knowing the information that they're getting from those sites is accurate and timely. That's also been a challenge because things have changed so rapidly. But it feels like we're now kind of in a little bit of almost a routine, if you will. And so the information that's coming out isn't quite as rapid as it was earlier on in the emergency, but still very necessary to get that information out there. And so, as you said, Sean, the city is making every effort to do that, multiple different ways, including a message from the mayor and a message from Councilmember Macias.
And why is it important to reach out to the Hispanic community and the Spanish-speaking community?
Well, obviously, everybody needs to have solid information. Everybody needs to have the information that will help them and their families to adapt and to make it through this emergency. Sometimes there are parts of our population that are challenging to reach. Some of those are monolingual Spanish speakers. And so not only is the city, but also multiple entities in the community, including La Casa Hogar, a number of different entities are trying to do as best as possible to reach that monolingual and bilingual Spanish-speaking population. It's absolutely critical.
Now, the Yakima Health District is also putting out information. We're helping the Yakima Health District do some information updates twice a week. Now, let's also talk about city services. Now, city services are continuing. This is one of the city services, like we've been talking about, providing information, just letting people know what's going on within the city. So all city services are still continuing, correct?
That is correct. All city facilities, City Hall, for example, the Law and Justice Center, which most people think of as the police station, Henry Beauchamp Community Center, Harmon Senior Center, all of those facilities that are city-owned are closed right now to public access, have been for quite some time and will remain so as long as the stay home, stay healthy order from the governor remains in effect, which is still another couple, at least a few more weeks here. As at least that's our anticipation, is it's going to be a few more weeks. So trying to get that information out to people as best as possible about how to conduct business with the city during this emergency, which you can apply for permits, you can get water service shut off or turned on, refuse service, etc. Multiple ways to do that online, on the phone, or some other method than person-to-person contact.
Now, you mentioned water service. Now, that's a utility bill. Will the city be shutting off water? Is there plans to? What is the plan for that?
No, right now, as part of the emergency declaration that the council has initiated and has been in place for quite some time, if folks are getting behind on their water bills, the city will not shut off water service for non-payment. We have the ability to work with customers on payment plans, potentially some other options as well. And if people are struggling, they're encouraged to contact the the city's customer service center. It's where you go to pay your bills, online, on the phone, etc., and work out some way. But please be assured that water service is not going to be cut off during the emergency just because of that.
Now, another service is park services, and park services are also limited.
Yes.
Some parks the dog park is closed. There have been some other instances. Can you talk about some other closures in the park departments?
Well, last year pickleball courts opened up at Franklin. There were some resurfacing and refurbishing of a couple of tennis courts, a few tennis courts there at Franklin. Those courts are closed. All the playground equipment in our parks is closed, and we really need people's cooperation. We had some challenges early on in this emergency with folks still going to parks and allowing their children to play and climb on that playground equipment, and it just stands to reason that doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not very safe. It's not sanitized, and so we really need people's cooperation with that. You're encouraged to continue to get outside, enjoy the parks, walk around trails, maintain that social distancing, please, when you're out there. But most parks facilities are closed and will remain closed, but please do enjoy those parks and follow the proper recommendations and guidelines.
Now let's talk a little bit about the declaration. It's still in place. There's still a stay home, stay safe declaration in place, and that affects the city of Yakima also. Can you talk a little bit about that and what people should be doing?
Right. The order, this is a stay home, stay healthy order that was originally instituted by Governor Inslee and then extended again until May 4th. And, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with that order as we draw a little bit closer to May 4th, but it still does affect us. It is in place, and the rules and regulations that we've been following for the last several weeks, we still need to follow. Something that I was reading just the other day said, this is probably even a more challenging part of this emergency than early on. When this first started, everything was happening so rapidly, and there was a lot of change going on. And now it's kind of, as I mentioned earlier, kind of settled into a bit of a routine. And this is where it gets probably even more challenging for the average person to stay home and not go out unless it's for essentials, to continue to maintain those social distancing guidelines, to wear your mask when you're out in public. I mean, as we go through this, it does get a little harder. And we still have a ways to go. And lessening those regulations at this point, or easing up on the practices that we've been following, could really be quite dangerous. It feels a little bit, frankly, I got to tell you, it feels a little bit repetitive that these same messages, we keep putting out the same information, but it is the same information.
Right.
We do need to keep following those guidelines so that we can get a handle on the COVID-19 virus and move past this. So please continue to do what you've been doing. We've been doing a great job. It appears that some progress is being made because of these practices, so keep it up.
Exactly. And staying at home, it isn't easy with the weather as wonderful as it is out there, but you can go out, you can walk, just practice the social distancing recommendations, use your mask like the CDC has recommended. People wear masks in public. When I go to the store, I put my mask on. Yes. I wear my mask. It's safer for everyone. It's been proven safer. You've got your own mask there, don't you? Yeah, see? And these are just homemade cloth masks, but
yep,
they have been proven to make a difference out there. So
absolutely. And we've said it over and over again too. They appear to be significant sacrifices. And I don't mean to dismiss them as though they are not, but these are short-term sacrifices for long-term gain.
Now let's talk a little bit about, there's a lot of information out there. You talked about a lot of misinformation, but there's a lot of good information out there also, and the City of Yakima provides that. I'm going to try to put some of that up on the screen. Can you talk a little bit about the information that's out there?
Sure. First and foremost, on the City of Yakima's website, 3 weeks ago or so, we established a specific page. You see it there on the screen. It's at the top of our website. The banner is what we call that. You click on that link and it will take you to information about what the city has done. There's also, of course, recommendations on there about how you can take precautions. And then you'll see at the bottom of that page that there are links that we have on the COVID-19 page to Governor Jay Inslee's page, also the Washington State Department of Health webpage. That is a very useful page as well. You can see it there. That has information that's more specific. The page that we were just looking at has more specific information. Department of Health, Washington State Department of Health has more specific information about what the state has done. You see on your screen now the Washington State Department of Health. We went back. Okay, anyway, and the Yakima Health District website there. The Yakima Health District, of course, you can see all of the numbers that relate to the COVID-19 cases, confirmed, recovered, et cetera. And then also, of course, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC is what that's commonly known as. And there are a lot of important pieces of information there on that website, and it is reliable. Those websites that we've talked about, that information is accurate, timely, and reliable.
And all available on the City of Yakima's website right here from these links.
Yeah, with using those links, you can get straight to that information.
Right. Wonderful. Is there anything else we need to talk about that it's, like you say, it's kind of a repetitive message, but it's an important message, and this could continue for quite a while, and people need to heed the warnings of public officials, right?
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, I'll just repeat that the steps that have been taken do appear to be working. We are starting to get, at least it looks like from the data, that we're starting to get a handle on the rapid spread of the disease. There's also an indication, particularly in Yakima County, that the measures are working because some of the medical supplies, including the reopening of Astrea Medical Center and a testing site that was at the Sundome, those resources have been redirected to other places in the state where they are more in need. So again, just to reiterate, we're doing the right things here. We are making headway. And now is when we kind of need to redouble those efforts, you know, bear down a little bit here and make it all the way through.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining me today. And we will talk to you again next week on our next PAC Check-in.
Great. Thanks, Sean. Take care.
Thank you.